PJNet.TV Part 2. It is 9:30 on the eastern coast of the United States, and we are ready to start Part 2. We are recording, and we are streaming on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Del Didway standing by in our green room, counting down to Studio 6 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. We made it. You are watching PJNet.TV. If you are watching it from the chat room, our live chat room at PJNet.TV, a special welcome to you. If you're watching this on social media, thank you for joining us, and we do invite you to join the fellowship at PJNet.TV in our live chat room. If you're watching this recorded on, wherever you may see it, I hope that you enjoy what we have to offer, because we have every Tuesday night at this time, Del Didway, all the way from the great state of Ohio, but he moves around a lot. So he's only, he's getting kind of like somebody else we know, on tomorrow night, for example. But anyway, Del, each of us just got back from the North Carolina Christian Writers Conference, and I go to your blog at deldidway.com, and no surprise, your blog is about your experience there. And I certainly have my share of experiences there, but why don't you share yours in case somebody didn't everybody read the blog, though, but just in case somebody might not.
Well, hey, it was great to see you and Barbara down there. Had a wonderful time. Good, a lot of folks there, so we appreciate you making the effort and he had a little surprise. He had a little recognition down there, a little cake for you. So,
yeah, I got all four corner pieces. Yeah.
That was awesome. So, we had a great time. As always, the North Carolina is our third time to go there and to the Christian Writers Conference. And it was my first time to go as a literary agent, a junior agent under Kyle, the Kyle Young Literary Elite. So I was kind of learning, trying to do things right, taught a class or so. But it was a great experience. It's kind of like how I was 3 years ago when I first went to my first conference. Didn't really know what to expect. Didn't really know anybody. You want to listen, you want to take everything in. And so, one gentleman we met there was just reminded me of me. Of course, I pointed out in the blog he had much shorter hair than I did back then. But, Bradley made an impact on me. He sat down with me at my session and has a really good story to share, several good stories to share. But again, I compare him to how I was, with no really social media platform.
I couldn't find him. I was going to call you.
No, he's on Twitter now.
Okay.
And but that's how I was. I mean, I didn't have anything. I had maybe 5 Twitter followers. I had I had no Instagram, and still, what you hear the whole time you're down there is platform. So I was thinking, as he was talking to me, his story, his desire, his passion, his calling, so to speak, his first conference, and I thought, this is exactly how I was. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, out of nowhere, Kyle Young extends an offer to me to represent him, for him to represent me as an author. And I thought, you have all these wonderful, talented authors and writers who are looking for an agent who are proven, and you're going to offer me a contract, really? And so I just got to thinking, that was me. So all he needed was some guidance, a little bit of encouragement. I mean, we all need that, but his was just a little different. So I just sat and chatted.
It's a lot different, Dale. I'm a coach. I can spot a winner or a loser a mile away. They're different.
Yeah.
And
he
first
just had
saw
something about him, didn't he?
It's something about him for sure, because he is focused like a laser.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we talked, and I said, look, I'm going to do for you what was done for me. And if you'd like for me to represent you, I would love to. I'm new to this too, so I'm learning. We're going to learn together. I'm going to tell you what I learned. I'm going to give you the same advice I was given. And so he said, sure, he would love that. And I actually signed 2 contracts, Lori, within the PGNet family. Took my class, and one of the parts in my class was to be bold, to ask the agent, ask the publisher, ask the editor for a commitment. Put them on the spot. Say, hey, this is a good story. You need to represent this story. You need to publish this story. And lo and behold, after dinner that night, she comes up to me and she says, I'm going to do what you told me to do in class. And I said, what's that? And she goes, will you represent me? She said, I'm going to be bold. Will you be my agent? And I thought, I like that. And Lori's a very talented author, very talented writer, very successful writer right now. And I said, are you sure you want me? And she goes, no, I want you. And so I thought, this is a good fit. So we're Lori and Brad are both go-getters. I think I am. So I was able to sign 2 clients down there and hopefully impact their dreams a little bit. Hopefully we can grow together, and maybe next year, or who knows, we can celebrate their contracts at one of these writing conferences, much like Andy Clapp did. So,
what kind of impressed me in reading your blog is that 2 things struck me. First, I think that you were possibly even overwhelmed with the similarities. You connected with Brad Lee because he was so much like you. I also perceive him as very coachable.
Mm-hmm.
And you were very coachable.
Because well, you have to be, and that's one of the things I point out in my class is to go from a conference to a contract. Your ego's got to go out the door, because there's many authors who just cannot take editing, and they get offended and they take it personal. And I said, that's got to go. You cannot be egotistical. You can be proud of your work and you can love your work, but as I pointed out, when I get a manuscript back from an editor, I just want to just say, are you kidding me? And just want to throw it away, because I'm like, did I write any of this? But then you have to look back and step back and say, oh, I had this line. This is how they suggest I say it. Okay, good. So it's not all bad. So you have to be coachable.
When you say that, what comes to my mind is there are numerous translations of the scriptures of the Holy Bible, but the message is consistent. Now, you can argue the technicalities, and I'm not dismissing those arguments are invalid. They're valid, but the message is still the same. If the words are changed a little bit, it's to clarify the meaning. So as long as the editor doesn't destroy the message, shouldn't you be okay with that?
Yeah, you should, and you should look at it. Now, 95% of the time, I go along with their suggestions. There have been a few times where I say, no, this is how it's going to stay, because this is what I mean. You can't be married to it. You can't take it personal, but you have to go along with their suggestions and say, that makes sense. But then there's very few times, maybe 1 out of 30 times, I'll say, no, this stays. This stays how I want it. And you mentioned, different versions of the Bible. I was brought up, and still am, I prefer the King James. So when I submitted my first manuscript, I submitted everything in King James. And then when I got it back, it was all changed. And I went, wait, you changed all these verses. Well, it flows better. I said, I get that. But there's some scripture actually, certain versions take like the blood out. Mm-hmm. And they take other words. So I've been real cautious on that. And I called Kyle and I said, hey, I've got some folks back here home they're not going to like this, because it's, we're a King James Bible church, but and he understood my, I won't say frustration, but I was caught off guard by it. And so the second book, we were able to get a couple of them in there, and the third book a little bit more. So I've been weaning in the King James Version to where I think one of my books, it's predominantly now, out of the 30, 40 devotions, probably 25 of them are going to be, about 25 of them are going to be King James. So I went along with the first couple of times, and Kyle again knew how I felt about it. So we started to slowly indoctrinate the one I prefer. But so that's just a little bit of give and take. I had to step back and put my ego aside and say, this is what they want. It's their book. So I have to go along with it. So that's something I teach, is your ego must go out the door. And I've kind of got a little one sometimes. So,
well, I do perceive Brad as coachable.
Mm-hmm.
In the little when I would observe him, he was taking notes. He was asking
Yep.
questions. He wasn't socializing a lot. He was there on a mission.
Mm-hmm.
But what the second point that I observed in your blog is the way that you drew from both ends of the spectrum. You've got raw rookie material on the one hand
Mm-hmm.
with Brad, but then you go and grab the veteran, experienced, mature, polished writer
Mm-hmm.
that's on her that's at a good point, on her way
Yeah.
up. Okay, and that's a great time to capture talent and get them corralled, so to speak.
Yeah, Lori's. I'm excited about this because we're having some discussions already, and she's been self-published, which is phenomenal. And she's done really well since she's never been traditionally published. So that's what she wants to do. And you heard Kyle talking anymore. You basically have to have an agent, and so we've been corresponding back and forth already today, some yesterday, and Brad and I have already been. Brad reached out, and his first question was, "All right, now what should I be doing now?"
Mm-hmm.
Or kind of like the same thing I did. And I said, look at a couple more conferences. I said, this is going to be a marathon. So you need to build your platform. That's going to take several months. You need to go to some more writing classes. You need to go to a couple more conferences. It's going to take time. So, and he understands that, but he does have, one manuscript that we need to look at. And he talked to Michelle. She gave him some good advice. He's going to implement that advice. But yeah, he is very coachable. I think Lori is so enthusiastic, and she's coachable too. So, but Lori, again, they're two different because she has experience in being published, and Brad is just starting out, and
Mm-hmm.
that's exciting.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
For you, what? It's been 4 years or 3 years, something like that. You've gone
yeah, 3 years.
from. I mean, every conference you find yourself in a brand new role
Hmm.
because your career is vertical. I mean, it's just skyrocketing. Uh, it wasn't that long ago. You were one of the people that you were talking to this weekend.
Oh yeah, I mean, 3 years ago at the Florida Christian Writers Conference, I was making my appointments and not knowing anybody. I knew Michelle. We had met, but like we arrived at the Florida conference, and she was out jogging, and we get out of the car. Hey, Michelle. She just keeps running, says hi. She didn't know me. You know what I mean? She didn't
Mm-hmm.
know she. Oh yeah, you were at the last conference. But uh, now it's we're hanging out at IHOP. So it's completely gone full circle. And now we're co-authored a book together, and we're hanging out all the time. So and now she's calling me, saying, "Hey, I got this client. Would be you'd love to represent him." So now it's yeah, I've gone from not knowing anybody to sitting down talking to Eva Marie, pitching a book to her, or pitching services to her, to now they're calling, "Hey, Dale, you might want to look at this author to represent." So it's been quite the fast journey.
You've said you're new at this. What kind of
Mm.
caseload do you think you can handle at this point in your career?
Well, right now I've got 5 clients, and I don't want to get any more than 10. Because, and of course, I said that the other night, and Kyle laughed. He said, "Yeah, that's what I said." And now he's got a gazillion clients, but I don't want to do any more than 10 because I don't want to have a lot and not get anything done, and then they talk. It doesn't do nothing for me. So I have 5 right now. Looking at 2 more. One's really has really good potential. So I want to. And I've already got 1 book sold. I pitched 2 books to Edwina down there, and we're excited about what could happen there. So I want to get within single digits. I want to take on no more than 10 and get them rolling because I don't want to try to get 30 or 40 and not get anything accomplished and then fall on my face. So I'd rather have a few, be successful with those few, than take on more. So I think that's my plan, and let's see how it goes from there.
I admit, this is not. I haven't been to conferences like you have, but did you
Mhm.
actually meet anybody new in North Carolina?
Oh yeah, yeah. I met several folks I didn't know who they were, and went up to them and introduced myself. And had some good conversations. So I mean, I think 5 or 6 that I'd known. A couple of them I knew, but I didn't really know them.
You
But
knew
I've
of
seen them
them.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew who they were. Didn't really know them, so we had a chance to sit down and connect. And that's what's great about those conferences. You can, after dinner, you can sit down and mingle around and sit and chat with them. Or, one gentleman grabbed me on Saturdays as we were trying to leave. Hey, can I pitch you? I said, well, sure, you sure can. And we sat right down there in the sanctuary. He had told me a really compelling story, and he said, I've been meaning to get to you, but I haven't. I said, hey, let's do it right now. Let's just sit down. So, and that's the difference. I think some of these bigger conferences, it would be, some of these bigger conferences you go, if a guy walked up and said, hey, can I missed you. I couldn't get to you. Can I talk to you now? More than likely, they're going to say no.
Mm-hmm.
But, I was just like, well, sure you can.
Yeah.
Let's
Call
let's
my
just
office and set an appointment, something like that.
Yeah. But I just said, yeah, let's do it. He had his bag ready to go, but he wanted to talk to me. So if anybody wants to talk to me, I don't care. I'm going to take time, and I'm going to sit down and talk to them because people took time for me. And so that's my mentality is I'm never going to be too busy. I'm never going to be too arrogant. I'm never going to be too stuck up to sit down and say, you want my help, really? Well, I'll offer what I can. And I'm kind of humbled by that.
I'm going to hold you to that, Dale. I don't think I'll have to, but if the occasion arises, I will, because the thing about this sort of the public nature of writing and broadcasting and all that, as things grow, you start to think it's all about you. That's the slippery slope.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love for my books to take off, and I promote them like crazy. And that's something Kyle talked about. We have to promote ourselves, but we have to do it humbly, and we have to do it with some humility about it, and not shove it down your throat. So I try to do that, but again, I always promote other folks during the same time. I had a post out today.
Mm-hmm.
My book First Down Devotions is nominated for finalists for SELA. I shared a post and I thanked everybody who had part in that book on Facebook, because there's much part of it, because if they didn't do their part, the book wouldn't be where it's at. So I always thank everybody else. You always acknowledge everybody who's helped you. So I always try to do that. That's been instilled in me, and I want other authors to do that too. So we don't see that arrogance as much. You do see it occasionally, but that's something I hope I never get to be. So I want to be successful, but I always want to be recognize those who help.
Well, and be approachable. I talked to
Yeah.
somebody today, and said I'm in the studio. Give me a call, and they said, like, now. I said, well, why not?
Exactly. I'm here. I'm here.
I'm here, and I know it's hard to stay that way. Now, Dale, you at one, you had this day job going on. You were writing. Now you kind of have a day job going on. You're writing, and you're a literary agent. Are you now part-time at all three? How in the world are you managing all of this?
Hey, yeah, I don't know yet. I just do it as it comes at me.
You're gonna have to throw something overboard, but
I know. Well, yeah, something's gonna have to give sooner or later. But we've got a busy summer lined up. We're going several states this summer. We're finalizing our trip to Tokyo, so we're excited about that. A lot going on, but I tell you what, I'd rather do this than be bored. And it's just a wonderful experience. We're looking forward to popping down to Blue Ridge for at least one night. I think Michelle and Britt and Bethany and I are going to fly down and go to the award ceremony and celebrate with everybody. And then we'll be in New York the next day. So we're going to be jetting around.
Are you going to do your broadcast from Morton Steakhouse again?
We'll figure out somewhere. No, we're not going to be at Morton's on Tuesday night. I don't know where we're going to be on Tuesday night, but we'll figure something out. So I think we're going to have that dinner on Friday night this year. There in New York. So we're going to be doing it on Tuesday. We're going to be flying in on Thursday morning, actually. And Thursday and Friday and Saturday. So we'll probably do it on Friday night. I got to get with Kyle and double check on that. But we're excited. I'm really a little overwhelmed that actually people. I've been getting a lot of emails. Hey, will you look at this manuscript? Will you look at this submission? I'm like, oh, yes, but I'm like, I'm not really in any position to judge it, but I'm going to have to be. I'm going to have to give my opinion on it. And I've already told one person no because they submitted something I really don't know a whole lot about. And so I said, look, this is not my genre, but this is somebody you might want to contact. And,
Okay.
always point him to somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and in sales, you can't let anything dead end. You know.
No, because it may, who knows? Because in 2 years he may have something wonderful that I
Well,
may
and
be
don't burn your
interested for.
bridges. You know, don't burn your
Exactly.
bridges. Say
No,
this is not my. But you know what? Let's stay in touch because, I don't
I
think
said
you're a
that.
bad writer. There's positive things you can say.
Yeah, he
Of
sent me
course.
historical romance. I'm not into either, so I just said, "Hey, this person here does," and let me know what happens. So I always leave the door open. Very rarely do I shut it, unless they're like stalking me or something like that. So which does happen occasionally. So
Yeah. Well, I teed it up a minute ago. We got to wrap up. You're
yeah.
still a writer. I was trying to,
hmm
give you a chance to tell us what you're writing.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to start next week on First Down Devotions Volume 2. That has to be into New Hope Publishers soon. It'll be out next year. And then I've got a couple other projects right then I'll be done with all my contracts, which is hard to believe, about 14 of them.
Hmm.
So, talking to Kyle about a couple other projects. One that we heard down at the conference that publisher is interested in. So I kind of pitched to Kyle, and he goes, "That sounds awesome. Give me a proposal." So
Hmm.
we're always looking. Michelle's always looking. Bethany's always looking. So you have to be. And we've got a couple other projects. We go to Tokyo. We plan trying to get information there. Make that a project and make that a book. So I think it's a good opportunity there, different opportunity, and I'm excited about that. That'll be happening in July and August. I'll be there 10 days, maybe 14 days. You ought
Sounds
to go
great.
with us. PJ Net should fire up the jet and take us over there.
The six-cylinder jet. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
V6. V6. So it's good.
yeah,
Well, yeah. I'm hoping to do exactly that, Dale. And we're
yeah.
kind of out of time, but Dale,
hmm
I don't know how you manage to keep all the stuff you work on and get paid to do. Uh, let alone have
Yes,
time. There you go.
yeah.
Let alone have time to share with us a little bit. Dale, we appreciate your time and we appreciate your
Oh,
faithfulness, and the vision is more real today than it was when we first started, and it's getting more real every day. And Dale, I just thank
yeah,
you for taking your time. And everybody knows, when I'm contacting people, do you know Dale Didway? Do you know Michelle? And usually they know both. But if they don't know one,
yeah,
they'll know the other. And if they don't know either of you,
yeah.
why would I want to talk to them?
I
I
know.
don't know.
Well, and this is something I look forward to. I mean, I look forward to this little half-hour chat on Tuesday night, and makes me kind of I can get away from everything else for about a half hour, and and just talk, and so which is fine. I enjoy doing that. Get kind of a little. It's kind of a little escape
A
every once in a while.
decompression,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And I enjoy
so
it too. You're
yeah.
very, very conversational, and look forward to
Well,
some new stuff
it was
next
great.
week.
Yeah, it was great seeing you and Barbara down there. I hope you guys had a good time, plenty to
We
eat,
did. It's
and
Baptist church, no problem.
well, it was good. Andy's church is good food, and I heard there's a video of you circulating around. I'm gonna have to get my hands on that sometime. So
Yeah, I'm sure it's gone viral. I'm in deep meditation and prayer.
yes, yes,
All right, you
1
caught
o'clock
me.
in the afternoon.
Yeah, you caught me.
That's
Sleep.
funny.
That ain't the first person to sleep in church, but anyway,
No, that's
that's what it
funny.
was. We got it.
Hey,
Well,
we
Dell,
all we all make fun of everybody. We all have fun with each other.
it's great. It's great.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, Dell, we'll see you next week, and I'm
See
sure
you next week.
something new will happen between now and then that you'll tell us all about.
I hope so. Talk to you soon.
All right, man. Take care.
Good night.
All right, Dell Didway, pjnet.tv. A couple of quick announcements. First of all, I want to share a story that really happened to me today, and I don't know, I just thought you might benefit from knowing it. I have something that I do that I take very seriously. Anytime I see a person wearing one of those caps that indicates they're a veteran, I will pretty much stop what I'm doing if need be and just go to approach them and just say, "Excuse me, ma'am or sir. I really appreciate your service to our country." I do that all the time. It's just part of me because I really do. Well, today I was at the grocery store and the person in front of me was checking out and they were wearing a Vietnam cap, and I just tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Excuse me, sir. this man was visibly shaken. I won't say he was in tears, but he was more than surprised. He was taken, and so we just kind of ended our little chat, and he checked out, and then I began checking out, and he comes back in the door with a bottle of barbecue sauce. And he said to me in kind of a still trembling voice, he said, I left the service when I was 25 years old. I'll be 75 this Friday. During that 50 years, other than on Veterans Day, you're the first person that has ever thanked me. And I just want to thank you. And he gave me his homemade recipe barbecue sauce. I was going to bring it here in the studio just to show you. And, I wasn't soliciting that, but it really felt good that I made his day, and then he turned around and tried to return a favor, so to speak. That just kind of impacted me. I just want to share that with you. Folks, the chat room is busy. I want to say, just all of you in the chat room, you are so much the heartbeat of pjnet.tv, and I appreciate you being here. We are going to be leaning forward. I did a few invitations today. These are personal invitations by way of private message or something like that. Personally inviting people to come join our fellowship. This is the best kept secret on the internet. And folks, our mission here is to actually change the culture. And I tell you what, there's enough power in this room to make a difference. But if we are going to get beyond where we're at, well, the fact of the matter is we're going to need more people. So if you're enjoying your fellowship here, which I think you are because you're here, invite somebody personally. Okay. Now, I actually talked to 2 people today and got them hooked up with the pjnet.tv RSS feed. I've talked about that before. You'll probably hear it again. Folks, this is the way we're going to move forward. This is going to catapult the vision of pjnet.tv into social media, and we're going to do it in a way that's very convenient, very inobtrusive, and you can participate or not participate to the degree or to the extent that you want to. You can do as much or as little. Folks, it's a powerful weapon. If you have not gotten an RSS reader, I will be in studio tonight until way after you go to bed. I will be in the studio all day tomorrow. If you want help on getting that, folks, anytime there's a post on social media about PJNet promoting what we're doing here, it's in that RSS feed. It's very easy to go pile on. And folks, we're going to have to wolf pack our way. We're going to support one another because each of us has a calling in our heart to share the gospel of Jesus Christ, to share a word of encouragement, to share the good news of Jesus Christ. Now, if you have any questions tonight, we just talked about being approachable. Just hit me up tonight. I'll be editing, and I'd be glad to stop what I'm doing to share with you how you can not only be a part of helping others, but also place yourself in the position of having others help you build your influence on social media as we work together to share the gospel. Now, I will leave you with 2 questions. You don't have to answer me, but you will answer. What is the boldest thing you've ever done for Jesus Christ? Number 2, when was that? It is my hope that all of us will never be satisfied with either answer.